Welcome back to another episode of Seeing Red. And yes, we have decided, with all the pressure, to add this dirty red to the show. Yeah. The world needs balance. So, my name is Simon the Writer.
Rashid the Gouda.
And I'm Lex.
And we have Lex. So,
Man U supporter.
we finally had a United supporter.
Yeah.
We had to. What is Seeing Red without a little rivalry? So, fine. But it's going to be an interesting episode. Some really good games to talk about. A lot of changes. Well, good is relative.
Yeah, we don't know that about.
In any case, a lot of changes in the table. The Premier League is...
Well, except for one team just constant, but we'll get into that too.
Yeah. Anyways, first game. I will send this to you, Rashid. Anything to say about Spurs versus Borough?
I thought Spurs were done a little better still, but 1-0 Hurricane penalty, humdrum.
Nothing much to say.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where they came to get something done.
Yeah.
They're not really exciting. Hurricane again proving year after year that he can score goals. Whether it be penalties or in regular game, it's really good that he can keep the goal scoring form. I don't like to see players go on a high and drop off like what is happening with Vardy right now. But good result for Spurs. Any opinions on that, Lex?
Well, I mean, I don't really care for the Spurs or
Alright, we can agree on that.
Yeah, we can absolutely agree on that. So I mean, it's a good result for the Spurs, and I mean that's that.
That's that. All right. The next game that we'll have on the schedule is Manchester City 2, Swansea 1. Rashid, I think that was a little scare for them at first, because it looked like another draw for Pep. Looked like I was actually hoping for the draw because it would have at least held us in top 4.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a resurgence of Gabriel Jesus. They're saying Jesus saves.
Last week he scored against Crystal Palace, this week against Swansea. I want to see him scoring against. I mean, you can't only play who they put against you, and it's Swansea. But I want to see him against some big opposition before I start singing praises. No pun intended.
But you know what though? Here's what I was saying in response to that. With Kun being so on and off, they need somebody like him.
No, I'm not saying
from
no, but
Olympics.
What I'm saying is that I'm not ready to sing praise. I'm not really saying
you need more games.
Yes.
Because I'm not quick to judge the big games, because there are a lot of times where it's really those small games that they need the scorers for. You understand? You have Kun as your Arsenal.
Yeah.
Kun scores in big games at times. You understand? So to have somebody like him to pick up these little games that they've not been winning, it says a lot. So with that now, Rashid, they won the game, they move into top 4, and they're poised for Champions League at least. Maybe that will put them in a position to show the real Man City, Pep showing his true colors. What do you think about Noisy Neighbours being in top 4?
Well, right now, I mean, that's causing a little bit of a problem with our battle to top 4. I mean, so in any way, we're just
you actually want the top 4? It don't seem so.
Well, no, this is all a journey to the top 4. Let's not get distracted by what well, I mean,
but 6 is on a number, like Pogba, 6th place.
I mean, you guys shouldn't get started, because you guys aren't secure in your position. I'm saying
but you're secure in yours, because no matter what happened, no matter what happened, the 6 was there.
We're on the journey to get in there. I mean, should we talk about?
Alright, use that as a segue. Alright, next game, Leicester 0, United 3. Thoughts on the match itself?
Well, my thoughts on the match are that this looked like a great game. It looked like a different Man U to me. I mean, all season we've been struggling to score goals directly after we've scored other goals and be fluid on the field. So the movement looked good. The ball was moving. We had a lot of opportunities. I mean, Leicester helped because they were just simply not playing well at all.
You mean since season?
Well,
Leicester might get relegated.
That's an entire discussion.
That's
crazy.
It's crazy to me.
I kind of saw it coming because, I mean, they didn't have the squad for Europe, and that's what happens when you win the league. You go into Europe, you need to build that squad, and we expected big signings from them in the summer, never got it. So
they got a few what I would call pickup signings.
Yeah, you're looking to get players that put you at the next level. They didn't do that.
And what I think they didn't realize, and it might be a lack of experience from Leicester on their part still, at being this big. You know, like I feel like winning the Premier League is a lot more than Leicester would have asked for. Had they finished like you'd say top 4, right? I think they would have been more mentally prepared for what needs to happen.
What's concerning for Leicester, I was saying that perhaps it's because the European pile up. They had the fixture congestion. It was struggling, but they have none of that right now, and they're still struggling. So what happens later this month when the Champions League starts back?
But mentally, what has happened to them is now the damage. You understand? Because
although to be fair to them, the African Cup of Nations hurt them. They took like 6 of their players, I think.
Is as much as 6?
Yeah.
I'll double check that, but that will hurt any team.
Yeah.
Especially losing Mahrez, you know.
Well, he came back to them, but
even so, as I said, the damage has been done. And what I also think is happening to Leicester is, you know, the pickup players. You know, they lose one of the best players that we've seen in the league. Like, if he does this 2 more, 3 more seasons, I would say even better than Makalele was as a defensive midfielder. But not to stray too much from the United players or team itself, I think Jose is finally just accepting that this team might need the 4-4-2. I think they look better as a 4-4-2. They're putting out what seems to be the best 11, and they actually look like a fluid football team.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues that I think they had was finding goals without Zlatan. You understand? And now Mkhitaryan score,
definitely shown that.
Mata score, yeah. And no, Rooney never play. Martial, did he come on or he didn't play?
I don't think Martial
didn't
did.
Right, so, and those are also 2 options as goal scorers. So this is a worry. This is a worry for our teams. Because if they really catch form, this is going to be a problem. But
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you're very aware.
But I still think that against some of the big teams, there's a lot of pressure on the defense. I think you guys have a lot of defenders that we don't know what their role is.
Yeah, it does seem that Mourinho is kind of shuffling around, and even some of the defenders that we think are absolute quality. I mean, I don't understand why there's any shuffling around going on. I don't understand why.
That's Jose. He likes to tinker.
Yes, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. You bring on somebody like Fellaini, who, I mean, in games is not necessarily proving that he's great. He scored a goal that day that looked great.
You just describe Fellaini in the nicest way I've ever heard anybody describe Fellaini this season.
Well, I'm trying to be politically correct about the scenario right now.
Why? Why? You think the man is a bug? The man is a rocks.
Yeah, yes. Yes, as in my true feelings are that Fellaini 90% of the time doesn't look like he knows or understands what's happening on the field. But so I don't understand why Mourinho gives him so much playing time or brings him in when he's trying to stabilize.
He's paying them taxes at United.
He's an accountant?
Yeah. He's
doing
the books for them. I don't know.
Or maybe doing them here. Maybe he's him cut every. Cause look at Jose. Jose have new haircut.
Yeah,
Pogba always a change him here. Yeah, that is it.
Pogba.
Maybe Fellaini is a hairstylist.
Maybe Fellaini is the barber for the team. I mean, I guess we figured it out.
We figured it out. Scene ready. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
He keeps getting games.
He's a barber. As you know, in Jamaica, we rate with barber.
Yeah.
we rate with barber. But yeah. Anyways, so just to wrap up that game, I think Jose tinkers a lot of moving around. Can he hold this? Maybe. I think that they really have a case to push for this top 4. I think it's one of the closest top 6 races in a while.
Yeah.
And that is also becoming closer because you have teams like Liverpool that just can't get it right against the little teams, yo.
I mean, that's definitely a problem.
Yo, first thing.
What are your true feelings?
All right. You see, I feel like I spend a lot of time on this show bashing Klopp, and it sounds like I don't like Klopp. Let's get it straight. I really, really respect Klopp. I think he's one of the best managers we've had tactically in a while. But I think the problem is that maybe he's bipolar, but I don't know. There are certain things that he does that make no sense. It makes no sense, and it's always surprising. So, for example, I do think that what I asked for last episode, he didn't do in the Chelsea game. He went defensive again in the Chelsea game. He went for a draw and he got a draw. Right? I want him to put out a lineup that goes for the kill.
Which is what you had wanted though, Rashid. You had said that you had just hoped that them just get a draw.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. And we almost lost to Chelsea. Got the penalty. Great save by Miggs.
Yeah.
Get a chance to score. Firmino is giving the ball to the fans. I don't know why. And he came to this game against Hull City and he put out an attacking lineup, you know. But the little things he's getting wrong. So for example, Wijnaldum scored against Chelsea and is rewarded with not playing a minute of the game. I cannot understand this. I can't understand it. Like I don't understand these little things.
Last week in the FA Cup, we said that he underestimated the small team.
He keeps doing that.
Which is why Wijnaldum never played.
Because him think that he can just go out there and be fine.
Yeah. Hull isn't that difficult to see off.
And this going to hurt me to say, but Coutinho need to hold the bench now. From this injury, I don't know if he's still feeling pain, but him don't look the same. Him don't look the same. And he's stifling Sturridge. Now, I understand that Sturridge's style of play will cramp Klopp's style of play. But try it.
But do you think the absence of Sadio Mane has affected the team chemistry though?
You know what? If it is,
because
then
maybe that's why Coutinho is not looking as sharp.
If it is, then those players need to man up. That's bullshit.
No, but yeah.
At this level, it's hard for me to believe.
When you play week in, week out with that certain player, you know his runs, you know when to expect the ball from him, things like that. You're not gonna get that same chemistry with another player. So maybe he's just adjusting to Lallana.
No, but here's the thing. All right, fine, true, good point. But then my response to that now is there are so many players that should be able to do what he's doing. The real problem is people like Firmino wants to pass the ball back heel behind him instead of getting the proper pass and putting the ball in the net. Yeah. You understand? If you look on the goals that he scored against Swansea, that's what we need from him. First time header, control and score. But some of the things he's trying to do, curl in the top corner and all these things, it's costing us. And he keeps leaving players on the field that not doing what they need to do. And I don't understand. Like even I said Wijnaldum should have started over Emre Can, right? Yeah. Yesterday's game, Emre Can wasn't the problem. You understand? Firmino and Coutinho was the problem. You put on Sturridge and Wijnaldum, take out Firmino and Coutinho. You understand? Make Origi eventually come on for maybe Lallana and go for the kill. Just go for the kill. You put on Alberto Moreno. Why would you ever do that?
Underestimating your opponent is as simple as that.
Albert Moreno needs to go start Backstreet Boys 2 or something. Like, what is his purpose? What is his purpose? What?
Karius can join him.
I don't even want to go to the goalkeeper thing because it's like, we just know that the goalkeepers are shit. The goalkeepers are just horrible. You see me?
Yeah.
And the thing now is, outscore your opponent.
I don't know if you realize, but I've always said it. Klopp is a German Wenger and you have yourself another Arsene Wenger to deal with. I have Arsene Wenger to deal with.
Don't put that on my side, dog.
Okay, but yes, some of the time you look at it and say them underestimate them opponent or they didn't play this person. But in the 11 that they put out, do you think that 11 was better than Hull's 11?
I think so.
And everybody
Most
played. Okay,
yeah.
and so where were the opportunities? Where were the opportunities?
And that's what I'm saying. There are players out there who are throwing away opportunities and he's leaving them on the field.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And he's starting them and he's not seeing this. And it's one of the simple things of coaching that it baffles me when coach don't see it. If a player not playing good, take him off. So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Hull on a good run. Props to them. You know, they technically beat Manchester United, even though they dropped out. They technically won the 90 minutes.
It's a new hope.
New flow. But if you look on the games that they have the clean sheets, like one was an amazing keeping display, and yesterday we throw away our chances. So if we don't get this right, we might come 7th again, and Klopp have to shape that up. Anyway.
No.
Shut up. Just shut up. Pierce. Pierce.
Yeah.
No, Arsenal lost 3-1 to Chelsea and it basically means we're out of the title race. But I have so much to say right now. Like, first of all, the first goal, Alonso's goal. That was a f***ing foul. That was not just a foul, that was a red card. You don't lead with your elbow in a man's face and hit the ball and get over it.
Excuse me, sir. Get over it. That's what I'm going to say. Get over it.
No. It's not why we lost because obviously
Clearly.
But I mean, how can that not be a foul to start things off? The man was flat on the ground and didn't even know that he conceded a goal.
Alright, but hold on. But what I'm saying is, why I say get over it and why I am not surprised it don't call is that it's one of those things that I call heat of the moment.
It's thuggery.
Hold on. What you're seeing and the details of leading with the elbow and everything, that's replay. It's one of the reasons why I think replay should be introduced into football. I personally think so. I think a fourth official will see how him that. When the ref...
Hold on. How a man flat on the ground out cool and need a replay for no same lead him use him elbow?
Because it's a game where a man will do that when nothing do to them.
Exactly. Out cool and man get smelling salt for him, Simon.
But hold on, what I'm saying is he can't take back the call right there after. Him don't call the goal, him don't call the foul. Him realize maybe after that there was contact. He doesn't know the details of the contact unless him look on the replay. Something like that a fourth official could have said, take 10 seconds to be like, Jano, pre this. In the man hear headphones, boom. Them call the foul. Yo, no goal. But what I'm saying is in the heat of that moment, remember, it's one of those moments now to where that would have gone and then a man get pulled down in the box and the man say, how the ref not see that? Refs are trying to say, hold on. I'm not making an excuse for refs, because I'm not saying refs are great,
Yeah.
You understand? But I am saying, while I agree that it was a foul, I agree it was a foul. But I'm saying get over it based on the fact that in the heat of the moment, I'm not surprised that him don't see it. You understand? In fact, you will most likely see a ref looking for that going the other way. Like Arsenal fouling for penalty. You understand what I'm saying?
I would give a penalty. If it was the other way around, I never get a penalty. I could understand that in the sense that.
Yeah, but you can't understand half and no. But at the same time, let's say turn out that him did dive, that Bellerin did dive. It wasn't, but let's say Bellerin did dive and was acting up, and him don't call the goal.
How often do you see a defender dive against an attacker though? That's the next question.
But in the heat of the moment, he's not analysing position and play and all of that. He's looking at what is happening. It looked like two players going for a header, and is after the man will see that him lead for the. You understand? Which probably lead to why them call the foul on Gabriel. Him probably half-time, him probably reassess it.
In the second half, Gabriel did the exact same thing and him call him up about it.
Him probably reassess it with looking at things on TV. I hear that refs do that half-time. Them go back reassess certain things. Linesman would have been like, yo, it seemed like, our fourth official might be like, yo, it seemed like elbow.
If that is the case, I want some retrospective punishment for Alonso.
They're not going to. I don't think they're going to.
That's a red card of offense.
So these are the things that you begging
for. You remember way back in, hold on. Hold on. You remember back in the day, Pedro Mendes and Ben Thatcher, the same thing happened. It went to court. Thuggery. It was assault.
Yeah, but this was not an assault.
How can you lead with the elbow and not be an assault?
Rashid.
The Ben Thatcher thing was different.
The man never did that try assault the man and beat him up and take him lunch money. It's just him lead with the elbow and after you can say, okay, yo, this was a little bit physical, but don't need to go to court or anything and don't need to beg it out. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change.
It's a serious thing.
But hold on. Let's focus a little bit on the football. Because I hear what you're saying. You hear what we're saying. And at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of technicalities that won't be called right there. You say you want to see this retrospective action.
Yeah.
Let's see if it happens and we can discuss it on a future episode.
Yeah.
All right. But onto the game itself, the football game itself.
Actual football.
We were fucking shit. The worst game of the season.
Okay.
I'll be the first to say that because at the end of the first half, we actually gave a shit about the match. We started putting passes together well. We started attacking Chelsea more. And then in the second half, we came back out and just never cared. And I mean, knowing what happened to Bellerin, you expect the players to stand up and say, yo, we have to do this for the man. They just come out and just freaking roll over. What was Scotland doing on the second goal? The man made the man.
He was doing the Arsenal.
Like the man was at.
He was doing the February shuffle.
Right. Yeah. What's that? No. This is a situation where you take a foul against the man. The man look like Brock Lesnar versus like cruiserweight wrestlers in the WWE. Worst move as Coquelin make all season. And where does this put Coquelin in terms of the rest of the defensive midfielders in the league?
I think actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually think this puts him at the lower tier. I think it puts him as out of the top 6, I would say.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe you might even find some other defensive midfielders lower in the league, that are just better than Coquelin. Like, wait, one quick thing. When people were talking about Arsenal having the perfect squad, even you mentioning it, he was one of those factors as defensive midfield rocks. I think this lowers him. I think it puts Yaya, Fernandinho, Henderson,
but here's the thing, to be
Kante,
fair,
Matic,
he is a good player.
Wanyama,
Hold on, he is a good
Herrera.
He is a good player when he has someone someone like-minded beside him, when he has a good defensive midfielder beside him. No,
And maybe
Arsenal
that's the
went
thing that
into
makes
this
him
match-
not world class. Maybe that's what makes him not world
I
class.
don't think anybody said he was world class, though, but people were saying he's good enough to lead this team, to be our first teamer week in, week out. But it showed that we have midfield issues. And then he's off at African Cup of Nations, and the rest of them are injured. And we have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain there, who's not a natural player, not a natural centre.
Xhaka isn't injured.
Yeah, but Xhaka is a meathead.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
Alright.
But hold on, before you get too carried away with just the Coquelin issue, right? One of the things I actually wanted your
well, I'm gonna finish my point.
Alright,
Though.
sorry, my apologies.
He's a good player at spreading the ball. He's a good player when he has someone a natural player to partner him. He did not have that yesterday, so it showed him up.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned in previous episodes, and I think it's actually coming back to haunt Arsenal rather than you. You said that this is one of the squads where injuries don't hurt because you have a full squad.
Yeah.
And I actually think that this is the time we're going to miss Santi Cazorla the most.
Yeah,
Right now,
that is true.
he is missing so badly because these players that are replacing in the center of the field, not cutting it. Ramsey
But
can be an important player, but they're
How
not
do you solve that,
Santi's.
though? I don't think.
How they should have
solved
solved? No, you know what would have solved that? Recall Wilshere from loan.
that. No, we couldn't. The clause didn't allow that. It's a full season.
Well, then it's a horrible clause because right now, as
Because
Wilshere
they-
looks good
they
in
actually
defensive
paid money
midfield
for it.
at Bournemouth.
It's a loan, but they paid $4 million.
Ah, got you. But Wilshere looks a better defensive mid at Bournemouth. But I think there are a lot of things that Arsenal need to work out. This is just so typical of them, and it might come down to the attitude of Wenger.
Glad you mentioned that word, attitude. No, attitude of Wenger, I'll get into that in a second, but the attitude of the players. Every year we call for world-class players in. You can get world-class players and them come and don't perform. Look at Ozil, look at Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez
That's
is
strong
pissing
point.
me off right now. Alexis Sanchez, because everybody hype him as the best player on the team, getting into his head.
And get selfish.
Yes, him holding on the ball a lot, not integrating him teammates into the frame of the play, and a lot of the times it leads to the play fizzling out and the other turning over possession and the other team getting the ball and carrying it away. He need to let go the ball a bit more. And for someone who's being hyped in the way he is, you expect a lot more from him. He's disappointing me right now.
But just a couple weeks ago, weren't you one of the people who were hyping Alexis Sanchez in some way?
no,
Like,
he's a classic player. I've
Yeah.
always said that, but I don't.
In the
think-
past few games that
yeah,
you've
it's just
lost.
interesting to see
Yeah.
how much, just a little change.
Back and forth.
Yeah, you've just.
Well, not back and forth, but I guess I think where I maybe give him a little props is that even though he may rate Alexis Sanchez, he's seeing what Alexis Sanchez is doing right now.
Okay.
And nobody else is.
Okay.
Alexis Sanchez is a big part of the problem right now. And although I don't believe that he wants to leave Arsenal, if it is the case that he wants to leave, make him go on. If you are part of the problem, you can't point and say, yo, the man them now we have to take up myself from this.
That's interesting.
You need to man up and do what you need for the team start winning again.
Wait, what are you saying?
Okay.
Stop
it's
running
just
from your problems.
It's interesting to hear that perspective coming
True.
from an Arsenal fan.
And
right?
Ozil as well. Although Ozil now is more of a case of him going quiet in big games, the occasion getting ahead of him. But from money, he paid £42 million for it. That should not be happening.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
But to Wenger now, the thing with Wenger, I think, you mentioned it a few weeks back, that if the players can't motivate themselves, it comes down to the manager and his man management and getting them fired and putting some fire in them belly. He can't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a case where we need to sack him. I think he's going to reassess the situation and say, because it happened this season, in 2014 when we won the FA Cup for the first time in a while, he was about to leave, He was saying,
Interesting.
if we don't get the results we're looking for, it's time for me to go. But they actually won, so he looked at it and said, maybe I still have something to offer. But now I think at the end of the season, if we come out without any trophies this season, I'm going to look at it and say, well, this is the end and I need to walk away from it. But we are going to be in a dire situation because the club has been set up in such a way that he's been so entrenched that everything comes through him. He's the one that needs training and does everything, manages the money and all that. How do we possibly replace him without shaking up the board a bit?
Okay, interesting. Well, with that said, interesting week coming up. Arsenal, Hull City, what do you think?
Anything can, I don't really know. Doesn't matter anymore.
Hull City are the high, so that's true.
$6,
That's true.
What I'd have to say is that we can't, from what I've seen, we can't bet against Hull City, right?
Can't bet against them at all. They have a little,
again-
salt man.
Yeah, man.
He's sprinkling a little salt.
Arsenal is a team that
Like salt and the magic and them defense. I don't know.
Arsenal is a team that when everything is said and done and the title race is over, which it really is right now, we start playing the best football of our life.
So maybe they're going to start playing good football?
Man, you just hear the defeat in his voice. The man just say, well, the title race is over. As
It
in,
is.
That's what happens with Arsenal.
And that's what happened with Arsenal, yeah.
Every year.
Collectively, everybody, you know, is just
But
like
I'm not gonna do
that
one
Pinata
like
just
idiot
get
fans
packed
out
and
there.
just-
Yes, Arsenal fans, you're idiots. I think you're idiots. Because all the hyperbole say and all the crazy stuff, shut the up.
Oh, watch out! Look how
Arsenal fans pissing me off more than Wenger and the players right now, even though the players really pissing me off.
one game where Chelsea just destroy and put Arsenal in a body bag and you just everything. Arsenal fans turning on each other around the world.
It's not true, I just don't like Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans say the dumbest things sometimes.
Whoa!
This
Let's
It's a eulogy.
Woo! Woo! Is that you? Whoa! Alright, my United Watford, what are your predictions?
United Watford. I mean, my predictions is that it should be a great game. I mean,
At Trafford.
Hopefully, Jose gets everything together and we'll just come back looking in the same form that we displayed today.
Watford look like they're on a little high. They won 2-1 against Arsenal, 1 against Burnley. But I think at Trafford, I think they're losing.
No, I think Man U will win this game to remain 6th place, 3-1.
Actually, they're only 1 point behind us, you know. So
Yeah, but
let's hope not. Let's hope not.
hold on.
This is
This
why-
is
You see, this is you giving up on teams
I'm
again.
not
sixth
saying
place
anything.
right now.
Holding on tight.
Yeah, so
Alright.
Man U
Boy.
will win and the other teams going to win as a result.
But you're.
It's always best when they don't see it coming. That's all I have to say.
I'm saying, you see, if you're saying that and hoping Man U lose, I understand. United
No, but they're going
lose.
to win and the other teams going to win around them to keep them 6th. That's just how it is.
Well,
The universe says
Yeah.
6 for Man U.
The man is hoping the universe is going to help his team bring all tides up and all of them things. The man is not begging.
with that said, onto what might be the of our three teams, the most exciting clash, Liverpool, Tottenham, because this can really
Anfield.
bear my team. Anfield. Here's the thing, though. Somewhat we find strength for these big teams. I actually think a draw.
Yeah, 2-2.
Well,
Right.
I need a draw.
Hurricane, we have a
I think goals going to score. I think it's going to be.
Hurricane.
I think it's going to be all at 3-3 maybe.
Could be.
I think Mane is hungry for goals, and I think he's going to score. And I think hopefully Klopp will just put the best 11. We have nothing else to play for. So hopefully the players will wake up, to realize this. And I say a draw. I think if it's a win, it's a last minute win. It's a, you know, at the end of the game kind of win, not a run over from any teams.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how I would see it because to hope for a win, I'd have to hope that Liverpool wins. And
To not hold on to that.
You know, so we'll just get hope on that draw. I hope it's a boring game, 0-0. Nothing to
I don't see a nil all in this
And
game
I
though.
hope that
Yeah.
it's demotivating for every team.
For everybody,
involved.
just
and
Given
it's just
Liverpool's
cussing
defense,
and
that's
dissent
goal
in the
scoring.
locker room, you know.
I see goal scoring. I can't see my
Yeah, I
team
see
not
goal
letting in goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see that. But
You can't see a team not letting
letting
in
in
goals.
goals, not with the way. You see me not let. You see me not let.
No, I understand why I'm here though. This whole thing we needed motivation.
No, hold on.
You guys
hold on.
are both. You
But
guys
hold
are
on,
both
I am
not
saying that my
very
team-
confident in your team.
Hold on, no. I am confident in certain parts of my
Yours is just
teams.
over there laughing at us like, look
Within
at
Chelsea,
look
within
at them down
Chelsea.
there, the peasants.
Yo,
Well,
whatever.
Well, I mean, there
Whatever.
isn't enough Chelsea representation. But Paris is laughing.
Chelsea don't beat me in the league yet still, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, look here, no man. My finger still crossed. Say anything.
If it's anything,
can
we're leading Chelsea 4-3 and Aaron getting the lead.
That's a horrible way to look at it, but yo, you know what? Yo, everybody subscribe. Subscribe. Pierce, lock this up. Yo, I don't read the subscribe pillow. I don't read lock this up. Lock this shit.